My name is Dr. Maya Byfield. My business is The Phenomenal STEMist. I'm so excited to be here in Orange County because it's where I live. I live in Apopka, Florida. And I decided to make this business because I saw a need for underrepresented students to be successful in STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, math. And the best way I can do that is just provide products for parents to prepare them, whether it's a book or online STEM camps or just video podcasting. My goal is to transform this community, especially those who are underrepresented. And the way to do that is to help parents understand their children's minds and basically develop them at different stages of their lives to be prepared for a successful STEM career. Thank you so much. That's why I'm here. Hey, 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 it's the Phenomenal STEMist. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. I'm so excited about this weekend. This weekend is the Phenomenal Financial Freedom 3-day debt freedom challenge. Listen, who's watching? I see a few of you watching. Please do me a favor and put your name and where you're watching from in the chat. I'm coming live from my Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter channels. So I know there's people watching. And those of you in my Phenomenal Financial Freedom group, I see you. I see you commenting on today's topic. Before I do that, I want to just to remind you to don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's right there. You see it. Click that link and subscribe. And also you have my book. Don't forget the book, The Phenomenal STEMist, is in Amazon as we speak, or you could feel free to contact me and get a signed copy. Uh Listen, this summer I am doing a phenomenal STEM camp. Learn biology, chemistry, physics, math, and more. If you have children, you know someone that wants to learn science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and more, like finances for the advanced high school classes, listen, you got to sign up. Register at www.phenomenalstemist.com, or you can hit that Q card right there. Okay, my homework is done for the day. I'm going to jump in and talk about today's topic. We've been talking about budgeting all day, and I'm going to focus on how to use STEM, how to use STEM for your budget. We're, we're like, listen, I'm always going to bring science, technology, engineering, and mathematics into this conversation. How to use STEM for your budget. I'm not going to be long because I have to go on another show at 8 o'clock. So let's get started with how to use STEM for your budget. So today we've been talking about budgeting all day long. Those of you who had to work all day and you couldn't comment, please, we had 4 steps. I want you to go through those 4 steps today, because tomorrow we're going to start all over again with debt freedom or debt reduction. So, step number one. Step number one. Uh you got to list your income on a spreadsheet. You got to list your income on a spreadsheet. So, how much money do you make? Are you satisfied with the amount of money you're making? Do you even know how much money you make? List it. List it on a spreadsheet, on a Google Docs. Google Sheets is free. or you can have Excel, Microsoft Excel. Uh, if you have Office 365, listen, what's your income? Do you have a salary? Do you have dividends coming in? Have you tracked your dividends? Have you tracked your interest? Do you know how much reimbursements you're getting? Your business income? Your pension? Like, do you know how much money you take in every month for sure? Or are you just focusing on your paycheck? I need you to track it. And how do you use STEM to track it? You get a spreadsheet. Technology is the key today. Now I know Tiffany was talking about she's also old school. She write it on paper. That's good too. Write it on paper if that works for you. But I'm talking about using STEM. You can actually do wonders where you can use technology like a Google Docs or Google spreadsheet or Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. Plug it in. Plug in your savings, all the money that you have, and see what you have on paper. Use some mathematics. Step number one, list your income on a spreadsheet. Step number two, track your expenses. Track your expenses. So you could go old school, where you write everything down, but we're in a time where technology, every account you have, if you go to your bank account can tell you what you um all your transactions. You can see all your transactions, especially if you're using nothing but cards. Your bank will tell you what your transactions were all month long. Track it. You may not even need a budgeting app. I like budgeting apps, so I chose two budgeting apps that are still free. Now a lot of these days, these budgeting apps have costs to them. I used to be on mint.com and it saved my life. Mint.com, mint.com took me from having a negative $4,000 net worth to a lot more money than that. I'm not going to tell you what my net worth is. Let's just say I beat the wealth gap in America, where Caucasian Americans make or have a a, a, a disparate amount of or a big gap in terms of their net worth. I think it's about $135,000 compared to $15,000 in the Black community. I can't remember the last time I checked, but there's a huge gap, hundreds of thousands more. Um, when I got on an app, a tracking my expenses app, like Honeydew. Honeydew is a good one for couples, where couples can have their information in technology, and then they can cross reference. They can see what each other's spending. They can hold each other accountable. It's a free tracking app. Empower.com. It used to be personalcapital.com. It is a I have transitioned to Empower since Mint has gone away, and it's okay. But all it does is give you the expenses and a few goals that you can look to. So it's a little better than what Mint turned into. Mint turned into Credit Karma, and I don't think they do anything but just tell you what you have. But Empower can help you make goals, a little bit of goals, but they don't do much budgeting. Like, you're going to have to, or I'm going to have to. I'm talking to myself. Go to create my own uh, spreadsheet. But at least these apps can track your expenses in one place. You could see graphs. Talking about technology, you could see graphs in terms of how much you're spending, how much you spent more this month as compared to last month. It tracks that, and it gives you some guidance. So if you're a couple, get on Honeydew, in my opinion. If you're single, get on Empower. All right. Step number three. We're just talking about the four main steps to using STEM to create a budget. Step number three, categorize your expenses. Categorize your expenses. What do I mean by that? You need to be able to tell yourself what is fixed, right? That's consistent monthly expenses, and what is variable, what can change from month to month. Okay? Track, categorize them on a spreadsheet. Categorize them on a spreadsheet. Meaning, okay, I have mortgage. That's going to be, or rent. That's steady. Your whatever loan payment you have, if you have school loans, that's going to be steady a month. Property taxes, if they're not hooked up to your escrow, that's going to be steady a month. Your cable, your internet, your phone, your utilities, right? Those of you who goes to the gym, your gym. Decide what's fixed, and then decide what's variable. Things like car maintenance, that changes from time to time. Your personal care, your shopping for whatever, food, clothes. Decide what's what, and categorize them on a spreadsheet. We're talking about bringing yourself into strategy and order. I'm talking about bringing yourself into strategy and order. You see that chart down there? You could literally use Excel or Google Sheets to even calculate percentages, like how much goes to shopping, how much goes to gas and transportation, how much goes to your cell phone, laundry, emergency fund. You can utilize this fixed variable and create a graph with it, a pie chart, and make decisions as to how much you can spend after you have categorized based on importance. It's about priority. Fixed expenses are priority. Variable ones change from time to time. All right, number 4. Step number 4. That's where we get into using mathematics. We're talking about how to use STEM to get yourself out of debt. Tonight is talking about a budget. Tonight's talking about a budget. So like you now it's time to use some calculators. How much percentage? You got to use formulas. You say, okay, you've tracked your income. So you know that you get paid $3,000 a month after taxes. Well, zero point 0.5 of that, or 50% of that. So you could do the calculations on Excel. You could put a formula on Excel, and you literally can say 0.5 times 3,000, that's 1,500. So 1,500 needs to go towards housing essentials. 1,500. So you have to say to yourself, well, this is called a 50-30 rule. 50-30-20 rule. Well, if I only make $3,000 a month and $1,500 goes to my essentials, those fixed costs, then I have to make decisions on where I live and the type of things I buy. Some of y'all may have to cut the cable. Some of you guys may have to cut certain spending habits if you should only spend $1,500 on essentials if you make $33,000. Right? The average person, where's my phone? The average person makes $40,000 a year. $40,000 a year divided by 12 is $3,300. $3,300. So that means you should only be spending times 0.5, 50%, $1,600. $1,600 on your essentials. So you put that in the budget, and then we start making decisions. We start making decisions on how we date. Maybe it's time we get married because $3,000 ain't cutting it. And in order to get wealth, you may have to have somebody who's like-minded, a husband or a wife. Like let's just keep it real here. Let's keep it real. You may have to go back home and live with your mama. Yep, and get along with your family, get along with people. There has to be decisions made when you start to calculate. 20% needs to go into savings. 20% of your $3,000, right? You do the math. That's $600. If you could plug it into your Excel file, you do that formula in your Excel file, and he's like, okay, out of that $3,000 that I'm taking home, $600 must go into a Roth IRA off the top, right? Seven, uh, s- uh, that I'm sorry. What I loved about tithing was that it taught me how to live off the 80%. It taught me how to live off the 80%. That was the value of tithing. It said, okay, I have to live a certain way, or I need to make more money if I want to live a certain way because I've got to live off the 80%. Hmm. It's changed my life. Tithing was actually good for me because it taught me how to budget. Non-essentials get the 30%. So you guys gotta create a budget. List your income, list your expenses, categorize and prioritize your expenses, uh, and set limits to say how much you cannot spend. And the 50/30/20 rule is a really, really good formula that you can plug into your spreadsheet. So you can use spreadsheets and tracking apps to do this for budgeting. All right. Thank you so much. I want to remind you, listen, I have access to videos. I have access to spreadsheets, and I have access to the plan that I gave you guys today. And I'm offering it to everybody on Phenomenal Financial Freedom and everybody who's watching. I'm offering it for free, but there's a catch. There's a catch. There's a catch. There's a catch. What's the catch? The catch is you got to get a STEM camp for your kid or someone else's kid. All weekend long, I'm going to have tools on how to budget, cause debt reduction, and invest. And I'm going to give you access to all the information and the tools that I use for myself, videos that I trained on for myself. I'm going to give you access to it in your own personal camp. I call it the Phenomenal STEM Adult, and it's free. However, you got to get you got to get got to get the camp. Got to get the camp for yourself. For a kid, not excuse me, you got to get the camp for a kid, your kid, or someone else's kid. Guys, it's been great. My time is up. I said I would do 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you so much for being so engaged on Phenomenal Financial Freedom today in terms of how to budget. I'll see you tomorrow in terms of how to reduce your debt and how to do it in a short amount of time. 5 to 7 years. Do you know that if you do something real good, if you stay diligent, you can get rid of all your debt in 5 to 7 years? Mortgage included. It's possible. See you tomorrow.